Hello, hello. Hello, everyone. I'm at work, but have a nice stream. Thank you. I hope you have a nice day at work. It's midnight for me. I apologize. Look, our time zones are not the same, okay? It will be difficult for us to stream together as whatever witty or emotional dialogue. But yeah, how is everyone doing? How is everyone doing? Let me set up everything on my phone and then also turn on some music. Should draw it. Just waking up for school. Well, good morning. I sort of pretty much just woke up as well, actually. My sleep schedule is a mess, by the way, so like waking, quote unquote, waking up time for me is like a past lunch. I will have to fix that eventually so I can wake up at a human time. Yeah, let's find some music. Yep, that's good. Okay. Do you live in Bangkok? No, I don't live in Bangkok. Do you have a Discord? Yes, we do have a Discord. It's in the About section on YouTube. You can look there, and there's the link. If it doesn't work, do tell me. Though it seems like it's been working now. For some reason, at a certain time, it didn't work. But then it worked again, so... Bro accidentally has the vampire sleep schedule. Yeah. I actually sleep quite... I sleep in a pose that is like I'm in a coffin, but I'm just have a normal bed. Well, sometimes I sleep that pose. Other times I just sleep normally. Okay. So, that's everything set up. What mic do you use? Snowball Ice. You know what I should do? I should make a Q&A video and just answer, like, common questions. That would be, like, really useful, I think. Also, are those trenches? Yes. As you can see, since the last update in the community tab, this drawing has not gone that far. Reason being, the more I draw it, the less I like it. It doesn't have any story basis, if that, like, it doesn't have any story to it, you know? It's a nice environment, yes, but if there's no, like, thing happening in it, I think it doesn't capture the viewer's attention enough, you know? But one thing that I did find out is, when it comes to, like, the surrounding border of the color, before this, I just, like, sort of randomly scribbled it and cut it off wherever. But, like, just the choice of, like, cutting it off where the geometry is, so, like, having this cut off a little, sooner and this stick out sort of, like, makes it pop a certain amount. Same with, like, the walkway here, of the trench, like, cutting it after where the geometry would be is, like, a really nice way to, like, help give it that extra dimension. So I'll be sure to keep that in mind for future environment shots, just to use that idea, because I think it could be very very good depth. Yeah, it does help give some depth. Are you using Krita by chance? Yes, I am using Krita by chance. The lines and scribbles sort of remind me of how Krita brushes behave. Yeah, it's Krita. I just joined the stream and this already looks this good. Well, I didn't draw this on stream, Jesus. I can't draw that fast. But yeah, I was thinking of making, like, a nice bit of a better page with, like, some corpses crammed into one of the trenches and having the trench be quite a bit taller to, like, help that claustrophobic nature of it. Because, like, even though the trenches are maze-like, here's the problem. The trenches are maze-like, right? They go in all directions and are confusing to navigate and such and such. So, like, to show off that they're a maze, I have to go... I have to make a shot that's from above like this, right? But that sacrifices the claustrophobic nature of them somewhat, because we're not looking at it from the perspective of someone who would be walking through the trenches, right? It makes it perceivable, which I feel like it would be better if I can somehow show that it's a maze from the perspective of someone who's walking through it, which I'm not sure how I could do that. I could maybe make like a long stretch of maze from eye level perspective that just has a lot of like a lot of corridors that go to the sides and like entrances into bunkers and stuff like that. It looks like a dream sequence. Yeah, like a lot of the environments, I'm gonna try to keep like that sort of dreamy quality to it. Like, it's not realistic, in a sense of like the sky is like bright red and orange, and you know, a lot of things don't make sense, but the mood is the most important thing. But yeah, so that's probably what we're gonna do today, is like try to get a shot that embodies the trenches better than that one, just because I want like a better shot for it, for the page that would introduce the war. Like, okay, when in the book, right, every chapter would be about a different main topic. Like magic would be a chapter, and the war would be a chapter, and the religions would be a chapter. And I think it would be very nice to have like an establishing page that sort of has like the title, you know, like I was thinking, like, you know, that artsy shit where they make the letters really thin and far apart. I feel like that would be a good way to show it. So like rust and trenches, like that, like that's the title, and then it shows like a corridor of the trench, or like some claustrophobic ass corridor. Like that would be a good establishing shot, I think, for the first page about the war. Most trenches in World War I just shoveled dirt. Hollywood has rules that you need to construct trenches with certain building codes. These types of trenches indicative of support trenches, German. Well, specifically the types of trenches that I want to use for the world is, like those trenches that have a step up on the side. Like it's this, right? And then they have the step on one side or two sides. I wanted it to have it on two sides because like normally it's on one side facing the front line, and the hill that's on this side is taller than the one behind. But the reason I want it on two sides is to like show that the front lines have basically evaporated. There's no clear direction that you are going in. Like you don't know where forward is. So having it on both sides is neat. And then depending on the trench and like where it is would be like if it's fancy enough to have like a wooden walkway, or if it's just silt and mud, or if they have like planks on the sides or reinforced with red roots. Oh, thank you for the $5, Stephen Knizek. I hope I said that right. Are you implying that real trenches wouldn't be OSHA compliant? What do you mean OSHA compliant? I mean, I'm not implying that real trenches wouldn't be OSHA compliant. I'm just saying the types of trenches with the steps on the side are neat, and I want to use them in the world. That's it. No more reasons than that. Do you plan on having an actual story within the book or just world building? I'm hoping to have smaller stories within the world building. So like, because the stranger focuses on talking to people and gaining information from people, most of the time he would run into interesting characters. You know, there wouldn't be or there wouldn't be like a grand overarching plot like you know, like he's the main character or something. He's sort of like going through the world and showing off different interesting things that are happening within it, which includes, you know, different little stories and such. Like with the magic part of the book, I was thinking that we would have a story about the stranger going to see like one of the largest magic academies and trying to have a conversation with the what's that called? The owner of the Magic Academy? The founder, who's one of, like, who is the oldest living mage. So the stranger was aiming to have a conversation with him, because of, like, being able to document the metamorphosis that he's going through and just knowing how it is. Headmaster, yeah. But then discovering when he goes to the school that the headmaster has like locked himself into his study, and so he instead like gets context of what is happening through the servants and maids and stuff like that, asking them what's going on, you know. So like little stories like that, just to keep the world building interesting, and I hope that I can execute this well enough. Because, like, the main goal of the book, right? The main goal is to be an art book. I just want to show off the art and the world, right? But a lot of the art relies on the story to be interesting. So the story also has to be executed quite well. It can't just be me phoning it in or whatever. Like, with the videos that I make, it is... I can do that sort of storytelling because it is very small tidbits of story, right? It is little excerpts, little paragraphs that sort of give you a hint of what's within the world, which is easier to do, but a whole book... hold on, the music is way too loud. I can't hear myself. I'm so sorry. Yeah, but a whole book is a whole different beast. So, like, I've been finding, I've been looking for a writer or writers to work with, because I don't think I have the skill to be able to pull that sort of story off and to be able to make that sort of book engaging. And I found one. I found a guy who I've talked to, and we'll hopefully have another conversation today, and it is very promising. He sent me some of his writing, and it was very... How would you say? It was very easy to get a visual of what he was describing. You know, like when you read something and it immediately gives you like a picture in your head. But it wasn't like... But also the balance... Like, it was a very nice balance of like, okay, I can totally picture this situation in my head, but also it's not going too much into details where it's dragging, so the pacing of what's going on is still like really good. And it was just very nicely written, you know? So I asked him, like, hey, could we, like, work on this together? And we had a call and, like, talked about it, and, like, oh, it was really good. Like, I could talk to him, like, very well, and, like, how do I say this? Like, I was telling him about the characters that I wanted in the book, and he could, like, elaborate on them without me even continuing on it, and he said basically all the right things that I was agreeing with. Like, he'd said it, and I was like, fuck yeah, exactly like that. I wanted like that, and it just clicked, and I was like, ah, this guy, I'll definitely need to work with him on the book. So at first I thought you know, I might need some writers to be able to help me with the book. But I think him is just enough. just that guy. But hold on, my nose is stuffy. But another thing that I would need would be, so even though it is a book and an art book mainly, I do want to like give some ability to use it as a D&D thing, just in case you want to use it, right? So what I was thinking was, instead of like messing with the immersion of the book by having like stat blocks randomly on pages with monsters and items and stuff like that, I think it would be better if oh, Harrison Strangle, thank you for the $1.99, or what, basically $2. Have you watched Mad God? Yes, I have watched Mad God. It is very good. I like it a lot. I like Mad God a lot, like just the world and how messed up it is and stuff like that. It's really good. But yeah, what was I gonna say? Right, instead of like having it interrupt the flow or the aesthetic of the book by having like random D&D stat blocks in the middle of pages that should be in the style of someone's novel, someone's notebook, I should have them all at the back, like at the back of the book, and then just have them, you know, correlate to things within the book. Unless that's a little too tedious. I'm worried if that's too tedious. Yo, Kursk. Bro, we still don't know what happened in Mad God. Yeah, I watched it with Kursk, by the way, the guy who's in the chat. I watched it with him and another one of my friends. We don't know what's going on there. I watched a summary, so I understand it a little more, but still, it's a very weird movie. How much experience do you have D&D? Have you ever hosted a game campaign, or do you prefer to be a player? I've both been a player and hosted. I've been a player and a DM, and both were very enjoyable. I don't know when I'm going to get back to D&D, as you know, I'm quite busy with a lot of things. But I would definitely like to DM again. I very much enjoy DMing and acting out characters and NPCs and making dungeons and maps and stuff like that. Drawing custom monsters is very fun. But when it comes to like making stats for the book, I would definitely need some help from people. To like help stat out the monsters and creatures more accurately. D&D with Simon is the most memorable thing I... Thank you, Kursk. I'm glad you liked it that much. 50-player community campaign run by Monster Yard? Jesus Christ. Have you ever played Darkest Dungeon? No, I haven't. Saw the Lonely and I'm Not Dylan notebook in the other, in the video the other day. Are you Thai? Oh yeah, I'm Thai. Hello here, another DM with an upcoming game in, well, in 4 hours, of course. I'm absolutely ready. Let's fucking go. Let's go. Can't wait to have the players go off notes and, ruin the whole plan. Have you played Fear and Hunger? No, I have not played Fear and Hunger either. You can do it, it's just 50 people. Yeah, it would be like 1 turn per person per stream. Like, I don't even know if I can get through 50 turns in a stream. I did, you know what? I did actually see, a guy who did like a sort of D&D thing with his stream. I forgot his name. I like his content a lot because he does a lot of stuff with viewer interaction. And he did it so like a random viewer would be playing each character for like I think it was 3 turns, and then it would switch to having another user. Yeah, Doug. That was really good. I think that was a really good way to do it. It also was just funny. it was a very funny thing. Yeah. But then the importance is not taking it too seriously. Like, it would definitely be doing it as for fun, because I don't think with that many people in stream and all randomly doing characters, it's going to be a session that, you know, goes in any sort of good direction. So you definitely have to like simplify it down like he did. He does a bunch of stuff like that. Oh yeah, and all of it's like really good. I like that stuff. Happen in one session that have my bro mad migraine. 50 players community hosted by Monster Garden would slap if it's West Marshes campaign. I mean, if I were to run a campaign, it would probably be in the world of Rust and Trenches, just to get that, you know, get a fun little run around in the world. Play with friends, people you trust and know to play well with. Yeah, I have to fight the Ratcatcher session 1 and just fucking die. Yeah, very big if. But yeah, it would probably be with friends if I were to, like, live stream a D&D session. Okay, Kursk. Make it really hard to survive so everyone cycles through. My goodness. Have you seen some artillery shell mountain Battle of this? No, I haven't. Does your world have any aviation? No. May I roll to seduce the Birdman? Sure. Let's roll to seduce the Birdman. Where are my dice? There they are. Let's see what you get. Oh shit, it's raining outside. Nice. What do you say to the Birdman? You... it doesn't matter what you said, because I rolled a 1. Yeah. Even with the Birdman's indecisive features, you can clearly notice that his face turns into a scowl in disgust of your requests. Ugh. Is he just... A little bit of a shoulder shiver, you know, that sort of like picturing the idea of it, and you go, ugh. Like, he has that sort of reaction, and no words come out of his mouth. Oh, you have ruined your chances. You have ruined your chances. The Birdman cringes. Jakob goes, "My man, that is cringe." The worst that Jakob could say would be no. With all the people with curses I have seen, their faces contorted and messed up, even you, I wouldn't pick you over any of them. That's But yeah, I'm sorry. I had to shut it down. we can't have a bird romance. But I did genuinely roll a natural one, so can't fault me for that. The choice was not in my hand, it was in Lady Luck's, and Lady Luck said, hell no. But yeah, what was I talking about? I think I was talking about the book. But yeah, I feel like when it comes to getting to the, like when I eventually find a printing press and get to, like, making a Kickstarter, it would be very important for me to, like, really clarify what the book is trying to be. Because one thing seems like it is, or it seems like it's still very, a little confusing to some people what the book is actually gonna be, you know? Like, some have still come to ask me if it's gonna be a novel. Ah, yes, the guy who focuses on drawing and making videos about drawing and interesting character designs visually will make a novel. The guy who says he's barely, he's not read a single book in his entire life fully is gonna make a novel. Of course. So in the Kickstarter, I would make sure to elaborate that it is mainly an art book with stories. You know, but the main attractor is just, well, having nice art in a book. You could be very ambitious, yeah, perhaps. Audiobook, Simon starts narrating when you open it. What do you mean, like a fucking Christmas card? You open it, and I just start talking. And then you close it again because you're surprised by it. You're like, you open it and it's like, welcome to Ruston. What the fuck? Welcome to Ruston. What the fuck kind of book is that? Is there, are there just one long audio files for the... I mean, I don't think it would be good to make it into a audiobook as, like, it would be, like, random notes and stuff. Like the whole point is it's an art book. How do I make an art book visual? No, not Jakob's voice going, no, no. Hello there, sexy. You've caught me at the wrong time. Or is it the right time? Make it a musical? My god. Please. No. Oh, Treelancer, hey, what's up? It should be a pop-up book with creepy jingles. Hey, Treelancer, how's it going? Working on anything in particular, by the way? I'd love to know. I'm excited to see more. Lancer, come on. Make more content. Churn the machine. I'm just cleaning my gun. No. We can't. You're a witch, and I'm a witch hunter. But what if? No. No. No, we're not doing that. You could do voices for each character. Yeah. I'm busting it down witch hunter style. What if... No. Unless... No. But maybe... No. No, we can't. This school forbids that sort of activity. But if... No! God, stop! I'm going to write a Jakob fanfiction. Oh. I've definitely doomed myself. I should not have played along. Damn it. Should definitely not have played along. You curse me with love. Oh my god. You rolled a 1! Stop persuading me to make this romance work. You've already rolled a 1. It's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. Stop hoping. Or coping. A 1 is a 1, alright? Roll again. Nope. Nope. We're not rolling again. Use an extra action. Look, first impressions are a big deal, okay? First impressions are a big deal, and you got a 1 for a first impression. That ain't healing with any other roll. That ain't healing. You know, he's already said you're cringe. We have advantage. With those pickup lines, no, you ain't. You don't have advantage. Lucky I didn't give you disadvantage. You think Jakob would be such a simple man to be swooned by simple pickup lines? He's a man of class and other fancy words. Are those bugs in your eyes, or just happy to see me? Jakob. Thought I know you have cursed me. Please give me a second chance. No! No, 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 no. What if we have flowers for eyes? What instrument does Jakob play? It's some instrument. I can't remember what it's called. One of the music people I work with made a song using it. So that's why I wanted Jakob to have that instrument, but I can't remember what it's called. But it is an actual instrument. How's it going? Gang? Question mark? Hurdy-gurdy. No, it's not a hurdy-gurdy. This thing. Oh, where is it? There. It's that thing. Jakob's deduction? What? He's getting a... He's losing profit? He's... God damn it. Jakob's deduction. I can't work anymore if you're gonna cut my pay again. It's Y. It's like... What kind of Y is that? It's Jakob. Like that. The worst way to spell it. It's the name Jacob, but I wanted it to be pronounced, you know, Jakob. So I thought, oh, like writing it like this would help people know how the name is supposed to be said. Yeah, something like this would actually be a really good introduction. Also, I guess it's not really fully a notebook, because like if it really embraced the idea of a notebook, then it wouldn't have nice pages like this, you know? It would just be like very crunchy pages with like rough sketches and stuff like that. But I do want it to have some nice pages like this, just to have it be more art booky. Yeah, something like that. I could totally take inspiration, quote unquote, take inspiration from this image by Stislaw. Are you focusing on the Rust and Trenches part of the Monster Garden for the book? Yes. Look, the thing is, me and my writer, I'm calling him my writer now. We've only had one conversation. Me and the writer guy, we sort of agree on this, and he's convinced me of this as well. And I completely agree with him. I have a lot of topics to cover, right, with the book. I have magic, the war, the mana core, both of the religions, the witch hunters, dwarves, like, that's a lot. That is a lot to cover in a book. If you want to have stories for each of them as well that you could, like, sort of get invested in and like, interesting characters from each of those locations, that is a lot to cover, right? And I asked him, like, okay, we talked about a character, and I was like, okay, how many pages would you think would need to be given to a character like this to, like, fully be able to, like, explore it nicely and stuff? And he suggested, like, well, maybe, like, 8 to 10 pages, you know? And 8 to 10 pages for, like, one character is a lot. And the consensus that we came up with is, if we will explore all of the topics that we thought up, right? We will explore all of them and play around with all of them. But if it turns out that all of them together are too long for one book, then we won't cut anything down. We will, like, we won't sacrifice exploring a character and making, like, the story bits shorter for the sake of making it all fit with one book, right? So we will instead make a second book if it needs to happen, okay? But let's focus on one first. So that's the thing. So basically, there might not be everything in this one book, because there's just a lot to cover. It's a whole world building project. So no, I don't say, like, "Woo, yeah, second book." It's not gonna be one giant ass book. We will not make a tome, like a Necronomicon of lore, okay? Because we will put as much emphasis into each topic as it deserves, right? If the war needs to be 40 pages long, then fuck it. It's gonna be 40 pages long. You know, obviously, like, that's not to say, like, we will go off into tangents and random things. Like, obviously, like, some cut down is necessary to make, like, a story not overstaying its welcome, right? I'm not saying we will make stories overstay their welcome. They will be the appropriate length that they deserve to be. So yeah, it depends. The book might not cover everything, and that means there might be some things that are sadly left out. Like the dwarves, for example. The dwarves will get left out. Who knows? Who knows? I let it be as long as it needs to be. Yeah, yeah. I want it to be natural, you know? So as long as a topic needs to be, that's how long it's going to be. Most sketchbooks are kept nice and clean. What if Jakob being chased by monsters every day will be mentioned 8 months after I left city? Guga the match. What? Will there be mention of time? Example, 8 months after I left a city. Left city A, I met Guga, the magic fairy. I don't think time is very much a necessary thing. Maybe with like in shorter stories, having times in between things that happen in a shorter story, like for example, the next night or something like that, to give context to recent events that are happening in sequence. But separate stories, I don't think need to be established in a specific time frame. Like, oh, this story happened 3 months before that one. You know, I don't think that's necessary much. It doesn't add anything. You know, you just know a timeline, and I don't think needing to know the timeline is important. Guga of the Ugas. Will it be worldwide shipping? Well, I hope so. I'm hoping for it to be worldwide shipping. Of Arthur Spiderwick's field guide concept art book that came with... Wait, let me search that up. Oh, that's beautiful. That is beautiful. Looks really nice. I'd love to read more about Ram's culture. Well, I hope to, like, give culture and stuff like that through the stories and characters, you know? With how we show the... Like, okay, this is like a sort of... Oh, I wish it's like this, you know? I hope it's gonna be like this. I can't guarantee how well we're gonna pull it off. I hope fucking God we can. But, like... When it comes to, like, lore... Whoops. That's the dice on the floor. What did it roll? That's a, 11. But yeah, when it comes to the lore and stuff like that, I want to express it in a subtler way. You know? Like, I'm not gonna, like... I would love for it to not be like... Oh, let the stranger tell you exactly what the customs and culture of each country are, you know, like, oh, they like doing this, they like doing that. It would be way better if through the characters from those countries, you get a bit of the country's culture, right? They just do it, and you don't, like, they don't, like, tell you, like, oh, we keep our shoes outside of our doors. It's just, it'll just tell you he took his shoes off outside of his door before stepping into the house. And then, you know, it's just like, yeah, that's apparently a thing they do. Do you know Darkwood? Yes, I like Darkwood a lot. The Witch Hunters were very much inspired by the style of Darkwood. Show not tell. Yes. Yeah, I hope we can do it that way. So there'll be a lot of like underlying knowledge that gets told through the book in that sort of sense. So not like straight up front, this is how the world works. Show not tell. When's the next video? Well, I'm hoping to actually make this stream into a VOD. I thought about it, and I think it'd be nice because, like, I do talk about, like, quite a bit of stuff in the streams. To, like, just go through the stream and cut it down, edit it into, like, a digestible 20 or 30-minute video, maybe, with all the important bits, and then make that into a video and post it. You know, for the sake of, like, oh, then it's, like, it's a nice thing you can listen to while working, because a lot of people have suggested, like, longer form videos, and I guess, like, turning the live streams into VODs would be a good way to get that. You could just compile your sketches into a book and I'd buy it, so whatever happens, I know it's gonna be beautiful. Thank you. Hi, VOD. Hello, VOD. I'm sorry to say, but, well, as you can tell on screen, there's no chat on the screen, so the VOD won't see the chat. But yeah, what was I gonna... I was gonna take inspiration from this image, maybe. To, like, have, like, some corpses piled into a claustrophobic, hallway. That might be an interesting image. But instead of, like, also have, like, a soldier just, like, hunched here, sitting, and being, like, you know, head in his hands, just like, fuck. Yes, that is very readable. Good job, Simon. You're drawing really well. My goodness. Make it actually visible. Without Jakob, my heart lies empty. And sunken. My life is worthless. Damn. Sorry, I had to give a little bit of a pause before saying sunken, because annoyingly enough, you know, on the phone, that heart icon that you can click to, like, give hearts to the stream or, like, give emotes, it blocks the newer messages by a little bit. What I miss? Oh, we're just talking about the book and, like, writing or drawing a nice page for it. It does it on PC too. Oh, that's just wonderful. It's some trenches. But yeah, I do want to keep that Rust and Trenches thing at the top, though, because I feel like that is actually a very good idea for how to, like, make the text dramatic and cinematic. For some reason, I got it very centered as well. Huh. But yeah, so I could, I guess, show, like, a trench that's really long. How do I... Perspective. No, I want the walls to look taller.
guess I could do something like this and then have like splitting. And yes, I know it doesn't make sense because normally trenches are winding and they need like corners to help with explosions and stuff like that. But just for the sake of having a scene like that, I think it's good. What about a view of the trenches mazes from above, like a cliff, like Jakob has taken a break to sketch the view? Well, Jakob doesn't draw. The book is from The Stranger, but I was thinking about like a top-down or like a higher angle to help show the maze-like qualities of the trenches, but it also like stops giving you that claustrophobicness. Like you sacrifice one for the other. Seeing the whole maze shows you that, yeah, it is a maze, but you don't feel like you're within a maze, you know? So I'm trying to like somehow get that maze feeling across, even though it's from a ground in the trenches perspective. So my way to do that is hopefully to like just give like a lot of offshoots and corridors and tunnels in like one long hallway maybe. Amazing. Oh my god. Turnip 28? No, I have not heard of that. A good. I gotta head out. I wish I knew what a good is, but yeah, I want to let you know you're a great source of inspiration for me as an artist and a writer. Thank you. I'm glad I inspire you. Take care. A good. Oh, like sort of like Inception style, like just folded up sort of. So you can start seeing like the top or like the actual maze like here. So it's like curving. Basically, it's like you are looking at the trench from a downhill perspective. So you can see a claustrophobic angle of the trench, and then you slowly also see the maze. That would be nice and disorienting, first of all, so... Yeah, that might be good. We might be able to, like, get a balance of both, then. Alright, Ite. Oh, that's what it is. Ite. It's a little too well, wait, hold, what? That's like one letter between Ite and Ite. Is that even worth it? Good. Basically a freestyle tabletop game where the world has become swampy and rotten. I highly recommend checking it out, Simon. Let me check it out right now. A turnip 28. Turnip 28. Ooh, that's gritty. I like it. Well, that's really nice. As long as we're checking stuff out, is familiar with the world of Mike Francina. Yeah, I'm definitely familiar with his work, and I do like it a lot. He does very cool stuff, and we are very much like in a similar frame. You know, it's both World War I-esque with like medieval influences with the armor and stuff like that, and like religious stuff going on. It's definitely very alike. Yeah, Trench Crusade is awesome. It is very good. I am worried, or I was worried some time ago that my world is just literally too similar to his, and I would not want to like tread on the same ground, you know? Because like that just feels wrong a little bit. But I think over time it has sort of differentiated itself enough. No samurais. We're not going to add samurais. But the potential, no, it just doesn't fit. I must depart now for my education. Have a jolly good stream, Simon. Thank you. Thank you. You have a good study. Yeah, I do really want to, like, with the characters and stuff like that, I do really want to capture that more dirty aesthetic of Darkwood. If I can, like, hopefully for the book, I'll try to make, like, the characters really nasty. Just, like, not dirty. I think a better word would be worn. Like, they've just looked like they've been in that costume for years. Like, it's just fused with them at that point. And I like that sort of feeling where everything has sort of just aged, right? Like, all the cloth is frayed and fainted or faded and dirty and layers of just shit and gunk and whatever. As long as the world is not moist. Oh boy, you'll be so excited to hear. The trenches are moist. they are wet. When it rains, they flood. When it's dry, they're still sloppy. So, enjoy that. Historical trenches often had more twists and stuff. Yeah, I know. I know they do. But the point of, like, this scene is to, like, show the amazing nature of the trenches. So, like, I sort of had to sacrifice some realism of that making sense for the sake of making it more visual, you know? I can definitely have it, like, curved to the side more. And then have not, like, a clear path. Like this. Oh, I forgot to record, which is good that I noticed that now, because it's not that far into the drawing. It still looks off. Yeah, it's sort of weird to have a trench be on a hill. Hold on. Let me search up trenches on hills. There are definitely more winding trenches, though. This is good. Hills Gallipoli? Gallipoli? Yeah, but it's not gonna... It doesn't really show a picture of, you know, in the trenches. Hmm. Could use a low angle, and then like a fisheye. Oh, that would be interesting. Hold on. Like, this is pretty much a low angle. Oh. Perspective is the bane of my existence. Wait, no, that's not. Nah. I'm really having trouble with these trenches. Like, nothing really feels right, you know? Going for a softer appearance might give you... Yeah, at the moment I'm just trying to get like the perspective and the angle that I'm going for right, you know? Hold on. There you go. That solves it. Sorry it took me a while. No. I think this shot does have potential. I just need to work on it more. You should add weeds and stuff like that to the top of the trenches. Okay. I've read a bunch of the messages in chat of people suggesting like these small little details. Stop. Like just if the thing I'm doing is I'm focusing on the main structure of the image. I'm not going to add any details or stuff like that that always comes later. So just don't, because it doesn't, you know, it doesn't actually help anything. It's, well, it's basically like saying, if I'm drawing this right now, like, imagine yourself drawing a sketch right now, and somebody coming, hey, you should color that. No shit. That's gonna happen. That is happening. You should clean up those lines. Thanks. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. But you should, like, right now. Like, color it right now. Stop doing whatever. Just put colors down. Yeah. You're basically repeating the nightmare I've had to deal with when drawing at school. You know, the people that look over your shoulder and just say things that are so fucking obvious. Maybe it isn't obvious to like, you know, non-artists or whatever, but just stop. Please stop. This shot is giving me some, like, it has some potential if I, like, dirty it up a lot. Just, I think leaving it so it doesn't show, like, any more trenches than that is fine. Yeah, like, that might be good. And then just a guy sitting here. Have you considered doing an illustration that is covering 2 pages? No, not really. I was thinking about avoiding 2-page spreads, just because I don't like things in the crack. You know, it's just, it bothers me every time I see it in a book, and I just need to, like, wrench the fucking crack apart to see what's in there. That sounds very wrong. Where do you source your music from? From YouTube. I just open random soundtracks that are, like, moody and whatever. Yeah, and then, like, the trench collapses here a little bit, some sandbags and sand hanging down, because, like, I'm thinking this thing would have fallen from the sky. That, and the guy sitting here, and then the corpses, like, in the background all piled up. I think this is good. I don't have water. Damn it. I'm gonna go get some water real quick. Okay, I'm back. Let's see. I should probably, Control C, Control V, and, like, zoom this out to see what it looks like. I'll still keep it small, though, because it helps me a lot with, like, keeping the whole image in view. For some reason, as soon as I, like, zoom it out like this, I get to, or I often, like, just lose track of the greater picture. But yeah, I think that's good. That's really good. It helps, like, get that sort of... Yeah, and then we can have like a puddle here and like get it all wet and stuff, so you can definitely see that it's you know, that it's wet. Yeah, but sadly we don't get that maze quality in the drawing, and to like pull the background up here to have this be downhill just doesn't feel right to me, to have like this weird angle going on. So I feel like we can definitely explore, like, I don't have to capture every aspect of the trenches in one image just to have like a good striking image of the trenches, so it's completely fine for me to like maybe try and get that in some other image. Trench foot, that'd be crazy. Yeah. Okay, so this part of the trench is gone. Well, hold on. Yeah, it looks good. I'll go back to drawing it at this size so I can focus more on small details and stuff. What if we can get a little bit more story out of this? Like a bit more story out of the image. Like there's a guy sad sitting at the trenches. Why is he sad? Could we have like a friend of his maybe who's like basically dead next to him? Like that's sort of the situation with you know, like he maybe has carried his friend over to this point and like laid him down next to him, but then the friend just died, you know, like just bled out or something. So he's just sitting next to a dead guy. A dead kid? No. Yeah, red roots, definitely gonna add red roots. I'm not adding them now because it would like disorient the image quite a bit. So I'll add those later. For now I'm keeping it clean. But yeah, having like another character who's like sitting here. He would be like a lot more loose, sort of not sitting with his feet on the ground. They're like hunched over a bit, and then we would have to like, I feel like having like a lot of blood, or not blood, but like some padding and frantic medical assistance, sort of like trying to patch it up, but just, you know, didn't work. Like maybe like a lot of gauze and stuff like that here. And then he's just slumped over. I don't think it's necessary to see his face. So just seeing it, like... Give his friend... Yeah, I guess that would be better. If it's like, he's not like, oh, fuck, I lost my friend. Like, it's just staring. Like, empty. He's lost it, pretty much. Oh yeah, that's really good actually. Have one sleeve like ripped off. That's really good storytelling right there. Ah, even better, he could have used one of the spikes on the, like, giant mortar shell, or, like, this giant shell here, to, like, rip it off so we could have, like, some cloth here. That'd be neat. Some dog tags. I'd have to think of what kind of identifications they would have. What's the story behind this? Well, what we've been coming up with is basically that soldier guy here was trying to, like, save his friend, but basically failed, so now he's, like, just fucked and staring a 1,000-yard stare. I feel like, I don't think cleaning his weapon would be a good idea, as that would show, like, a sort of nonchalantness, which I think is not really good for the image. I feel like just gripping his weapon, like, quite tightly would be a better thing, because it would just be like he's still tense. He might look out of it, but he's definitely, like, yeah, bloody hands. Staring at his open palm. Oh, let me try that. Sorry the image is an absolute mess, by the way. It's definitely a very rough sketch. Okay, what do you think? Is that better? Like him staring at the hand instead of just staring off into the distance? It would definitely convey the story better of like it would guide us like, hey, what is he looking at? Oh, he's looking at the bloody hands. Oh, it's because he like just sutured up his friend or whatever. Yeah. Yeah, okay. I think looking at the hand is very good. Thank you, whoever suggested that. Um, yeah. I am thinking of having these guys be ROM soldiers in the drawing, so these guys would be ROM soldiers. But that doesn't mean that this doesn't happen to Varus soldiers either, you know? Yeah, yeah. It makes it look like he's pondering. Whoops, I just dropped some water on my sketchbook. Gives it more character. The men, they yearn for the trenches. Does this man look like he's yearning for the trenches? But yeah, I'm definitely giving him like a pole axe gun though. Just to like that would be cool. Just to have a pole axe gun. Because I'm definitely gonna use like a lot of medieval weapons basically turned into guns, because that's just cool. It'd be neat to have him have that. Finally. Yes, finally. Axe guns. We'll be playing around with like, yeah, halberd. Sorry, I don't. I said poleaxe. I guess it's more like a halberd. Yeah, and then his friend. No, no, they wouldn't be big and chunky. They'd definitely still be, you know, sleek, like a musket, basically. It's like a musket stuck to a halberd. I need more bullets. I need more bullets. That's the tragedy of war condensed into one sentence right there. But yeah, I feel like, I mean, like, if you're in a trench, having a stabbing weapon seems quite good. And if that stabbing weapon is really long, that also seems quite good. So, like, the axe side, or the chopping side might not be used much, but the stabbing side would definitely be useful to have, like, a really long gun. Though, just having a really long thing in a trench also isn't that good. Like, if it's a corner, then you'd use like a pistol or something. So he'd definitely have like a backup gun to use in those sorts of situations. But if you're like down a long corridor or something, like a long stick is probably really good. Oh yeah, having religious trinkets actually might help a lot. I don't think he'd hold on to it. The whole point he's like having his hand out is just to look at like the blood on his hands, so having something in his hands might like muddy that idea. But just having him have like a religious symbol or something around his neck and other like trinkets, like folded coins and stuff would be good. Folded coins is like a symbol of luck, by the way. Both countries have it. It's not just a Rom or Varus thing, it's both countries have that same belief. Could have the trinket bloodied instead. Well, yeah, but I feel like just keeping the hand empty, so it's like very clear that he's looking at the blood. If the trinket's bloody, then it's like, did he fucking stab the guy with the trinket, you know? Or, I guess it could be like if we have his dog tag and just have him like look at the dog tag. But, what do dog tags look like in the world? I'm thinking, God, this sketch is a mess. Look at it. Like that doesn't look like anything. But yeah, like, what are required identifications on a dog tag? I guess the person's name. That's it. Just a name. No dog tags. Yeah, like I not like literally a dog tag. It would be something, but there should be like something that identifies the person, shouldn't there be? How about putting the axe at the bottom of the weapon? I was thinking that too, but like if you're thinking about like attacking someone for a trench, you wouldn't really want to be using the butt of your gun, like just in case you'd want to have the barrel facing them, you know? So it'd be better if the weapon is at the tip of the gun. For some other guns, maybe at the butt, but for this one at the tip. Neck barcode, axe fists, fingerprint, identification. Not, I don't think fingerprints would fit in the world. Like that. Not, no, my characters don't have fingerprints. Fingerprints don't exist in the world. I mean, like just the idea of like identifying someone by fingerprint in that age seems very unlikely. Blood type isn't a thing yet. Like, with the medical practices in the world, like, bloodletting is still, like, the main thing they do. You know that era where, like, everything's like, oh, he's sick, what do we do? Bloodletting. You know, like, or blood transfusions is, like, crazy thing that, like, sometimes works but doesn't, but they just haven't figured out, like, blood types yet and stuff like that. Leeches, yeah, leeches, bloodletting, that sort of shit. I want to like have fun with that, because like the thing is, due to the reason I had is because like due to magic being such a powerful healing thing, right? Like magic is like so good at healing people. I mean, if you die, you die, but if it's like a wound or something like that, magic is the best way to heal it. It's sort of like a curse as well, because of how good magic is. They have not considered other options. You know, it's like magic is the best thing. Like if you want your wounds healed, you need magic, but that doesn't take into consideration the people that don't have access to magic, you know? Flower pool? What is that? Flower pool. Oh, right. The thing I just said. No, powerful. I accidentally said flower pool. Yes. Yeah, magic stunts innovation. Yeah, because, like, magic is basically seen as this, like, end-all, be-all. I don't know if that's the right way to say that phrase. They stopped considering other options as much as being viable, and magic just kept getting developed. Okay, I think it's time for me to be able to zoom out the... wait, hold on. Having some red roots on the walls would be good. Also, like, the red roots, I don't think they would cover, like, every surface, because they're, like, sort of injected into the soil, if that makes sense. So, the red roots are very more in the soil, right? Than they are out of the soil, but, like, the hole where they get injected into would, like, start spreading outwards. Oh, it'd be good, you know what would be good? Like, in this part where the thing crashed through, to have the red roots visible. Because that's where they would be exposed. That they're, like, in the soil. Lock of hair with dog tag attached? I'll have to think about the dog tag thing more, if there's, like, a way of identifying people and what it is. Metal cylinders with paper scrolls in them containing information. I think dog tags engraving would be too difficult. Yeah, I guess, like, paper scrolls. It would be interesting to have, like, just like a nice engraved, like that, canister. Basically like a geoguesser. No, not geoguesser, fucking geocache. And then just like a piece of paper inside, like small enough with some information written on it. Yeah, that would actually be good, I think. And then you can reuse them as well. Like, knowing how much they, like, reuse stuff, if you just have a container, and if they die, you just take them, and you can just write another piece of paper and put it into the container instead, that would actually be a lot more, easy, I think. So more complex? Question mark? I guess it's a little more complex, because it's a container instead of a, you know, a pressed piece of metal, but I'd say it's fine. Yeah. Dog tag. Yeah, it would give some nice context. Like, if you find a dead body, you could look for that thing and, like, learn something about them, maybe. Maybe they always have, like, they tend to write, like, important information about that. Oh! What if it's, like, they write what they want on their gravestone? Why am I laughing? Haha, they write what they like on their gravestone. Woo! Funny. But, like, that would be a good thing. You know? Like, John Wick style, like, I want to have loving husband written on my gravestone, or whatever. And then the person reading it just chucks it out, like, yeah, whatever. And just leaves the body. Doesn't even honor it or anything. Name of hometown family. Yeah, because like if the guy customizes it himself, he'd love to like probably write a little bit of something to document his him, you know? And then like I guess dog tags would like show quite a bit of the person's character, because instead of just being basic information, they could like write anything on it, so it would show a lot of how they were. Oh, swapping the scrolls would be so annoying, but that would definitely happen. They can doodle things. Yeah, somebody draws like a funny little face on it. Or a no. How big would they be? I think they'd be like not that big. They would like, hold on here. If it's on the character, it would like be this tiny little capsule. Like if you've done like geocaches before, that's basically the size I'm picturing. It's like really small actually. How do I describe it? It's just small. Um they carried paper on them. Yeah, perfect then. Perfect. It would be great to have like these little capsules then. In centimeters? Yeah, sure. If you want to get a picture of it. I would say they would be like 3.5 centimeters long, maybe 4. You want like a bigger message, but like they're not gonna be big at all. They're like these little cartons. Size of a thimble? Yeah, yeah. Oh, that'd be cool too, because then some people can make like makeshift ones out of thimbles and stuff. Yeah. But then you'd have to like, thimbles might get wet and then ruin the message. But yeah, so having some red roots here would be good. Can I send a photo or a link? Somehow I think I have a good idea. Just send it to me on Discord. What's up with the red roots? Red roots are a type of plant that grow around mana, dense locations and stuff, and people started utilizing them to reinforce trenches in the war, because you could basically just inject mana into a wall and the roots would like follow them. So they've like modified the plant to like help them. It's this plant that grows like basically in squares, like this, you know? Size of a thumb? Yeah. Yeah, I'd say the size of a thumb. Have a Discord link? Oh, it's in the About section on YouTube. Here we go. I'm actually quite happy with this scene. It's looking good. And then the corpses, like, piled up in the back. Okay, awesome. Let's copy and make it bigger. I'd say that big is good. Oops. I'll be sure to click the save button because last time I drew like a bunch and then I lost my progress because I left the program without saving. But that's fine. Monster Garden chat. Okay, yeah, sure. I'll check it out. Hold on. Oh shit! Yeah, that's fucking awesome. Yeah, that's pretty much perfect. I'm gonna try to not take the finger. I don't know if that's your finger or not, but I'm not gonna steal it. Hold on. Get that out of here. There you go. Perfect. Yeah, that as a dog tag is a good idea. French nail. I think I need to write something more specific than that. 'Cause I wrote French nail, and well, weapon. There you go. It's like a very rudimentary knife. Is it? Bent steel stake to make these crude knives. Yeah. I see that. Huh. Those are very makeshift, and I like that. But I do want, like, weapons in the world to be very ornate, or, like, anything to be very ornate. Just, because I like that. I want to, like, play around a lot more with, like, incredibly ornate things. Because, like, I feel like that aesthetic has sort of... it's a very untapped aesthetic I want to play with. Fancy as fuck. Yeah. Like, over-detailed. Because, like, okay, one thing that I really want to explore, or just, like, as a fun little detail in the book and stuff like that, is that, when it comes to manufacturers of weapons and armors and stuff like that, different artisans have different styles, right? But a lot of the people who used to make armor for the war have passed away. But their armors still exist, and they get cycled around, recycled, used by different soldiers and stuff like that. So they've sort of become these like museum-esque pieces, like collector edition type stuff, Like they have their marks and identifications on their armors, and those artisans have sort of become like these figures, right? And their armors are like relished artifacts that get passed on, and some soldiers are very like crazy about collecting different artisans' work. So like it'd be really cool to have like different styles of armor, like very detailed and ornate, and just have it be like, oh, this is made by that guy, like it has an identifying mark from his artisan shop and stuff like that. Or maybe like some collaborations where some pieces are like really rare, where it's like two of the artisans worked together and one of them made the gun and the other one decorated it, or stuff like that. Nike armored shoes, yeah. Having their own story. Yeah, so it's like maybe different pieces have different stories, and the thing is, some artisans might, like, if a soldier gets lucky with a piece of artisan's gear, like specifically from this person, other soldiers that hear that story of like, yeah, I got shot and this suit of armor like protected me, I got shot 5 times and they all bounced off, other soldiers might be like, oh shit, I need to get myself a suit by this guy, and then they start looking for it, and that gets like more valuable. Beauty is a signifier of moral good, belief here? No, not really. Set bonus, yeah. Balenciaga. Bro got the Balenciaga helmet. Yeah, but I think that would be neat to play around with like artisans and their styles and stuff like that. So it's not just like a one note, oh, this kingdom has swirls in their armor, Like there is a lot of variety within each kingdom, and like their styles mix a lot because, well, back before the war started, a lot of them still had trade and such, so it's not like they're not influencing each other at all and are completely separate in a vacuum. How do they distinguish soldiers? Oh my god, I just said there is some similarities. I didn't say they're fucking identical. Their armor style is still quite different from each other, even though they take inspiration from each other. Rom is very focused on having textural layers. Like, okay, their undergarment, first of all, like the gambeson that's underneath is very long, like the sleeves are long, and it has like this weird collar that like protect or blocks the bottom half of their face, and their armors are decorated in a way where they love to layer things. So there would be the underlying layer that is protective and metallic, and then there would be another layer put on top that's made out of like a decorative metal, that gives the pattern. But on the other side, Varus is very much about like having a lot of layers and have the armor itself be textured. So they would have like more corrugate, I don't know what that's called, like this, and then the armor itself would have like the pattern embossed into it, hammered into it, right? So there is still differentiation, and also just the gambeson underneath is, they normally Varus soldiers have like a piece of cloth that like covers their top half like this, right? And then they have like the puffy pants, you know, and their skirt of their uniform doesn't go that low, and then their shoes are like shorter, like they don't have boots. And then their helmets are different too. Like there's a lot of ways to still differentiate them. They are not that similar. Have you played Bloodborne? No, I have not played Bloodborne. I would like to play Bloodborne, but sadly I don't have the console to play it. It'd be very nice if it was on PC. Because I would love to play Bloodborne. That seems like it would be a really good inspiration. Petition for Simon to play Bloodborne. Well, I just said I can't. I don't have the console. Yeah, still visually distinct silhouettes and themes, but they influence each other. Like, different countries, if they're far enough away from each other, yes, there was still, like, yeah, they'll rub off of each other and have, like, some inspirations and styles that collide, but mostly, they will still have, like, different inspirations. Like Varus is very much inspired by the Pillars and the Pillars style, and Rom couldn't care less about the Pillars. So like generally their style of pattern is completely different from each other. But like maybe for a period of time long sleeved coats were a thing in both countries, you know? Risen roots, yeah, that's can clothing and armor be infused with magic? Magic items exist, but they need mana to function, and normally they are quite tedious to make, so it's not like a mass-produced thing. I think my brush is too thin. Hold on, let me adjust that. I'm gonna do 50. So a little better. I'm sure friendly fire still happens, though also is enemy armor reused if acquired? That is a good question. Like, I'm thinking, like, if like, friendly fire happens and misunderstandings happen, I don't think it would be very desirable for a Rom soldier to want to wear a Varus uniform. Like, it is armor, but you don't want to be misunderstood as a Varus soldier, you know? So maybe it would be used as raw material if found. Or maybe there's some sort of mutual respect that happens. Maybe it is like, oh, this is not ours to take. It'd be weird if they have that, or why they would have that would be interesting. Um, I wouldn't wear the armor of a guy I killed, because if I killed him, that's a sign that the armor isn't the best. Yeah, I guess that is a good way to look at it. Being able to tell friends from foe is one of those weird parts of war where cooperation benefits both sides most of the time, with the exception of international subterfuge? The fuck is subterfuge? That's a word. Wouldn't they even have different color schemes to tell each other apart? Well, yes, color schemes also, though both are quite green in nature. Varus is more of a bluish green, while Ram is green. But, like, due to the situations of, like, the trenches and the muddiness and dirtiness of the surroundings, I bet that, like, most of the differentiation would come from the shape, because color doesn't really hold up well in these kinds of situations. Would there be lanterns hanging around the scene? I think for this scene, no. I'm going to have it be like a sort of daytime scene. I mean, I don't really know how to describe the lighting I'm doing in like these sorts of where is it? This. Like, I don't know what time to call this. It's like constant sunset. You know, like that's as bright as it gets, basically. Do both sides use long coats? Nope. Just means deception. Oh, I see. But yeah, it's gonna be lit well enough that you can see everything. What would the women's role be in the war? Just curious. I think they would probably not be involved in the war much, except for, like, working in the bunker cities and such and such. The bunker basically like cities that were close to the area of war have been affected by the war, of course, and like turned into these like bunker cities, fortified fortresses with artilleries and stuff like that to prevent people from, you know, destroying it entirely. So they'd probably be working, like factory workers and stuff like that. With armor, is it equivalent to World War I plate armor or slightly more advanced? Are there things like living armors that one or both sides use? The armor is definitely protective enough against like bullets and stuff. So like if it's like if you're shooting them, you need to get a lucky shot. And most, or sometimes because of the trenches, most of the times wars become like this mix of shooting and also melee combat. No war mage? Yes, war mage. There are war mages. Magic laser sword. Yeah. No. It's sort of both, with the armor being strong and the bullets being weak. It's like there is, we're sort of, I wanted it to be that balance of like, you know, when guns started becoming better, sort of like when guns first got invented, they were shit. Like they were worse than bows, I think. Don't quote me on that. But as they got better, you know, they started being able to pierce armor and stuff like that. And in response, armor got thicker, but that meant that you couldn't wear as much armor, so you would have to like focus on having just like a chest plate or something. So we're like in that period where it's like armor's getting heavy to protect against bullets, so you only have like a chest plate or like some, you know, some major protection, helmet, chest plate. So it can like deflect guns and stuff like that, but there's still points where guns sometimes punch through armor or bullets, you know, like it's like that weird middle ground still. Do they have any painkillers or other drugs? Yes, we will like cover drugs a lot because drugs are like quite a major thing in the world. Due to the, you know, the situation going on, I mean, drugs are quite an appropriate thing to be taken. You know what I'm gonna try to do? I'm gonna try to color it just to like get a bit of a sense of what it's gonna look like. Wait, did I accidentally draw it flipped? Because this is the right way around, but I do prefer it looking like this with the destroyed side on this side. Yeah, I did. Hold on. I guess that sort of left to rightness of the image works. If the fine side is here, and then the ruined side is on that side. Yeah, we're fine. But then this guy is like stuck in the edge of the page, and I'd rather have this empty wall. Yeah. Let me flip it. Let me flip it. Layer, transform, mirror horizontally. There you go. This guy's not sitting right. I've been looking at him for a while now. He's not, it doesn't look like he's sitting right. Like he's falling off the edge. What the fuck color is that? Oh, I'm accidentally not using black. Having his foot like sort of slumped is still good, I think. So we can have a sense of him like being gone. Like that. Oh yeah, I do know about that with the bullet dent as a sign of like quality and stuff. That will definitely be a thing. I have heard about that and definitely wanted to like implement it into the world. Um, okay, let's try coloring it. What is that? Oh. What layer is that on? There you go. Actually, that might be hard to draw. No shit. It might be quite difficult to draw this, yeah. Like that, and then I do want to make sure to like make this look wet. So like it would need like quite a fair amount of like reflections and such. There you go. At the moment, I'm just trying to get, like, the values right. So just, like, the feel of it. I like having, like, really big, ominous clouds. That is, like, a thing I just like having in scenes. So, like, implying that these red things are, like, gigantic clouds is gonna be fun. You know? And they're, like, overtaking the yellow sky. And then having some, like, unnatural swirls in it would be neat, too, like that other image. So just... like something like that, you know? And have that, like, all over. Where the colors mix would be neat. Just to give that sort of otherworldly feel to it. Clouds should pull back a bit more. Okay, and I have to make the ground like a lot more messy. Right now it looks really clean, so like having a lot of depth to it, like not just a flat ground, but having it like go down and stuff would be very good. And like over here especially, like I should have like mounds of dirt because of this thing like crashing down. So like this part of the topography, why am I using difficult words? It'd be like more hilly. Stranger is the main character of his own book. I mean, even though he is the one who's writing it, it's not like he's wanting to tell his story. He's telling other people's story through his book. It is the unfortunate truth that he can't like remove himself from the story because he's the one who's looking for the people and talking to them. So but he's not trying to be like a main character. Yeah, he's definitely not trying to be a main character. That his whole goal and his whole point of his character is to like be as absent from what's happening as possible, and still documenting it. It's a weird contrast, like, because he has to be there to do things to be able to talk to the people, but he also doesn't want to affect the situation as little as possible, you know? you go. That's the values sort of coming into place. These walls, I think, should be darker. Like that dark. And just having the ground around the edges be darker would be good. Give some more focus to the things happening. And then some like little highlights here where like the ground collapsed. So we can see like the red roots coming through and stuff. That'd be nice too. By the way, what is that look? Screaming face on the bottom left. Oh, it's it's a concept made by two people in the server called Shabby and Sedeka. They're fucking insane. They're in the server and they make like really amazing concepts of like they make better concepts than me most of the time. Like all of their concepts are really good and really cool. So like I asked them if I could use this idea of theirs in the world, like actually officially. And they said, yeah. It's an idea of like this mortar shell that would be thrown by catapults called Witch's Tears. Wait, no, they're not called Witch's Tears. I think they'd probably have another name before they get turned into Witch's Tears. They have another function afterwards. But they're these giant, like, concrete teardrop-shaped things that get chucked across the battlefield. Oh my god. YouTube Premium คือ YouTube ที่ไม่มีโฆษณา But yeah, they're these giant teardrop, like, sort of artillery shells. They're not, like, explosive or anything. They're supposed to be, like, barricades, basically. Right? They play the role of barricades, and they get chucked across the battlefield. So, yeah, and they're just this, like, really cool idea that I wanted to use with, like, them having, like, teardrop shape and, like, the crowns that are, like, barbed wire and stuff. It was just a really good idea. I asked to use it. And they're still pumping out more ideas, which I'm annoyed I didn't think of. They thought of something called blood honey, which is a drug that's so it's there's a type of flower that grows on the pillars, and there's a type of bee that takes those flowers and turns them into honey, and they're like hallucinogenic and painkillers. So there are farmers in ROM that like turn that into drugs and use it. That's like their concept. That's not mine. Not mine at all. That's just them thinking of it. And I'm like, dude, that's so cool. Like, I have been thinking about like interesting drugs, but not nearly enough. You know, I want to explore like interesting drugs and stuff like that the world might have. And that's like one where I'm like, damn it, why did you think of this? Like, I will like ask them if I could use that, because like just the idea of blood honey is like a really cool thing. So if I have the permission to use that, that'd be great, because it sucks that I didn't come up with that. Okay, and then go. Yeah. And then this side's gonna be fine, that it like feels a little one-sided, because that's going to be in the edge of the paper. Well, either side that's on the edge. So, like, whatever side this is going to be in the book, I could just flip the image and have that be in the side that goes into the crack. So it'll feel more centered in the book version. And even if it's not centered enough, I can always just move the image and just draw extra bit over here. Do you draw propaganda for the war? I think the propaganda is sort of etched into both of their religions, as like both of the religious murals of Ram and Varus will have like mocking imagery of the opposing side. It'll be a fun little thing we cover when we get to it, but at the moment I wouldn't want to talk about it too much, because we'll get to it. We'll get to it. How long have I been? Damn, it's almost been 3 hours. I'll probably, just a heads up, I'll probably be ending the stream in like 10 minutes, maybe. Yeah, I think that's a little... The sky color still is a little much. I'd say that's a nice, striking color. And then we have those weird artifacts in the sky that's like, doesn't make sense. Just like an artsy touch, you know? Okay. And now let's try to just get that Rust and Trenches thing popping. Wonderful. I forgot to turn off my notifications. Sorry. Obviously, this would be like a good font, not my handwriting. That would be... There you go. Something like that, you know? And it would be this, like... I'm thinking it would be, you know, that, like, thin... Oops. Mirrored. Like that sort of font, you know? What are you watching in the background? Well, it's music. Hold on, let me switch to something else. Oh my god, it's one of those commercials. You know, oh, God, hero falls from castle. He's only #1, lost all of his armor. We gotta fight the enemies in numeral succession to level up. Oh my god.
Whoever's messaging me, I will kill you. Stop messaging me. Oh, wait, let me check my messages. I'm literally... why are you notifying me? I'm staring at the what? Messenger? Why are you like this? It's like I'm literally reading the chat as it pops up, and it's like, hey, read the chat. It's like, I fucking am. I need to fix this. Oh, that looks really cool. That looks really cool. I don't know if you're still in the stream chat, but that looks really fucking good. It's awesome. Ooh, we're pushing the envelope in the font industry right now. The A without the line through it, just to be a little more artsy. Let's fucking go. Okay, and then let's remove that. Something more like that, you know? Like, thin letters. The author's name. This isn't the front cover. This is a page in the book. This isn't even the front cover. I was thinking that this would be, you know, like every chapter would have like an establishing page that like gives the gist of what the next chapter will be about. So it's like the chapter called Metamorphosis, the chapter called Rust and Trenches and such like that. So, I mean, it could be the front page of the book. Would this be a good front page of a book? Handwritten is a nice touch. Yeah, I need to, like, modify it a little more to make it cleaner, but, like, the basic feel of it, you know? They're denying drugs and hookers! My goodness. The book version of your YouTube channel. I was thinking that the front page would be a lot more... we'll need to design the front page, by the way. We'll need to do that. I'll probably have like, so what I'm probably gonna do for that is like make a YouTube video about the front page, like designing the front page. And then I'll like try to think of like a few versions of a front page and then just have people vote on it. Just be like, hey, what do you think the front page should look like? Low ink typewriter font looking.
Yeah, I think that's so. Like, hold on, let me save this. But I mean, that could be a really good front cover. That ain't bad for a front cover, is it? But what I was thinking for the front cover would be what I was thinking for the front cover was more like a textured um cover. But I mean, the more I think about it, having an image like that as the front cover seems pretty good just to get like it would help with the idea of what the hell the book is even about. Because what I was thinking originally would be to mimic something like really over the top like this, but not texture. I don't think we can have like texture. We can have like a little bit of texture, but not like to that extent. But like something like this, where it's literally like a really ornate cover with like gold and stuff like that, and then instead of and then we can just have the Monster Garden logo like in the middle here. We can just have like that, so it looks like this weird tome for the hardcover. You know? But like the downside is you can't really tell what the book is about, you know? Lust and Wenches. Lust and Wenches is incredible. But yeah, look, the thing is, the cover is very limited by what I can find and what people can do. And also cost, obviously. I could do this. I think I could, but like, do you want to buy a book for $200? You know? Like, it would be very expensive. But something that resembles the ornateness, you know? Like, we can still have, like, a flat cover with just some gold, like, you know, the shiny stuff, and just have that be, like, really ornate and nice, like this. And also, having, like, a lot of symbols in the, like, okay, instead of it just being a random pattern, I wanted it to be, you know, some pillars on the side, like the pillars holding up the sky, and then like some cloud pattern at the top, another pillar in the middle, and then the logo like this, and then in between those would be like a nice pattern to fill out the rest of the paper nicely, like that very satisfying. Hold on, I think I have like this, like that sort of pattern in between the pillars to like fill out the rest, and like a contrasting color behind it, so it like helps make it pop. Or hold on, do I have other examples? Ooh, this is really nice too. Look at that. But yeah, like, I don't know if this sort of thing is possible to, like, emulate somehow, but, like, I would love to be able to, you know, go way over the top with the book cover, just make it this awesome, ornate, Lust and Wenches. Oh, God. Who exactly will be customers? Because the people in the stream will know everything about it, and others who aren't fans won't even know about the book. I mean, the the hope is to get like a Kickstarter started and promote it through that way and through the YouTube channel. So most of the people that would buy it would be, you know, the people that follow and want to have an art book. I will like keep a fair amount of like the book to myself, and obviously like because it wouldn't be fun if I shared the whole book online, obviously. But like I think it's not just getting exclusive lore that is like the incentive of the book. I don't want that to be the main incentive of the book. Like, oh, I buy the book so I know more than everybody else about the world and stuff like that. I feel like the main incentive is just, well, we're making a book together and working on it gradually, and eventually it's gonna be out and it's an art book. So I mean, the point is to own it like a thing that is, you know, I think that has some value to it, that it's an object of the effort we've put in, you know? Yeah, so I think the value goes beyond just knowing that lore that is within the book, even though I will try to like keep some of it, but not to the point where it's like, no, I can't make videos about the book at all, so you will never see the pages within it until it is done. Like, at that point, it's like, well, what's the point? Like, I'll just seclude myself for a year, make the book, and then it comes out, and there you go, there's the book. Like, I want to document the working on it part, you know, like drawing pages like this and stuff, and yeah. But yeah, front page, I don't know how much I can do for the front page, but it'll definitely be ornate. I want it to be ornate. But again, it depends. Maybe this sort of thing where for a front cover would be a lot more descriptive of what it's about. It's like, there's art on the front, you know? But like, I'm not expecting the book to be on shelves or anything. Right? If you're buying the book, you already know what's in the book, if that makes sense. Like, it's not gonna be on shelves in a store somewhere and you're like, huh, what's this tome? I don't know what's in it. It would be like you'd buy it through the Kickstarter, which means if you're on the Kickstarter, you'd already have a gist of what the book is gonna be about, so you wouldn't be confused about what you're buying, right? It's not a store bought book. Why not though? I can see that being sick. Well, getting into stores is like a whole different thing, though. Getting into stores is a whole different thing, you know? Like, you'd need to get publishers and stuff like that, and I don't want my book in the hands of publishers. I would rather self-publish it, you know? And maybe I could, like, talk to people at the store and be like, hey, you want to put my book on your shelves? Just in person, maybe? What about selling on Amazon? I guess you could sell it on Amazon if I like just make the book and then have like a few extras printed and sell those on Amazon as well. I guess that could be a thing. But most of the, like, I definitely would think of batch, like buying in print runs would be a lot better for this. Like, the first print run would be the Kickstarter, right? So all of the books get printed for everybody who bought it, pre-bought it for the Kickstarter, and then I'd ship it out. But then, like, print runs after that, I don't know how I would do that. Like, how you would buy it, if that makes sense. Like, how would you pre-order it? Like, hey, okay, we have... Like, it would be that thing where it's like, okay, you have this month's period to buy the book again, and then I make another run of prints and ship it again. But, like, I don't know how I would do that. With Kickstarter, it's obvious, because Kickstarter, you get the money, and you can get people's addresses by, like, sending them, like, requests to, like, give addresses and stuff like that, and I can do it all through Kickstarter. But then the rounds after that, like, how... own website or other TTRPG websites. Yeah, I guess that would be the case. Like, make my own website where you have to, like, give in your address and stuff like that. But that would, like, rely a lot on trust. I mean, Kickstarter relies a lot on trust, and if the Kickstarter goes well, then at that point, yeah, I'd probably deliver on the books. Actually, this is just a very long setup for a very horrible scam. I'm gonna get the money and dip right at the end of this, for developing the whole book for a year, and working on it together with you guys, and then at the end of it, I'll just run. That's it. The most elaborate scam. Do you think you'll look at Kickstarter extras like stickers, prints, and enamel pins? Just yes. I definitely think like the whole meat and potatoes. That's the first time I've ever said that. The whole meat and potatoes of Kickstarters having the tiers and having incentive to order and give more money to fund it, right? So there would definitely have to be like tiers and stuff like that, and the tiers would probably involve like, hey, if we get to this tier, I'll add more pages about creatures, or add more pages about items, or we will make the cover nicer, like we can fund a better cover and stuff like that. From the Kickstarters that I've looked at for like the really successful ones, they do that sort of thing where the tiers basically make the product better if we have more funds to actually, you know, make it better and pay for that sort of thing. And like extra and like higher support tiers of like, well, yeah, you can pay the base amount to support the Kickstarter to get your book, but then there's also the higher tiers for, oh, if you want prints or stickers or stuff like that, because it'll be a price for the people who just want the book, and then a price for people who want to fund it more would be, yeah, you get extra stuff that's exclusive and stuff like that. Yeah, a roadmap is always good. Like, yeah. So like that would be like a very delicate balance. Like it's gonna be hard. I'll have to like ask a lot of people how that works and stuff like that. All as well as the Kickstarter would have to start after I contact the printing presses, because I'm gonna go to Bangkok in like 2 weeks to like contact them. I will contact them through the internet first, by the way. I'm not just going to show up on their front door and be like, hey, print my book. I'll contact them through the internet first to ask if they can possibly do something like this, and then go and see them in person, what materials and stuff like that they have, because I want to be very hands-on with the quality of the book. I want to make sure that it actually is good. And because through the internet, I don't really trust or I don't have the most faith in like doing stuff through the internet with a company that's like across the globe, and I just have to hope that the book is good. I'd rather like be able to touch it and feel it and work with them face to face. But yeah, like that's it. So after I contact them and know shipping costs and know how much it is to produce, then I can think about the prices of like the Kickstarter tiers, how much money we would need to be able to actually do it, how much the book would cost, stuff like that. It would be, you know, a lot. I have 2 friends that are bibliophiles. I have no idea what that is. Some books are absolute artworks just to look at. Is there somewhere I can send them as reference? Yes, send them to me through Discord. Just DM me. I have DMs in a way where you have to request DMs, but you can still send them to me, and I just have to accept them. So just send me a DM with that, or like put it somewhere in the server and just at me if the DMs doesn't work. The server is in the About section on YouTube, if you don't know. Yeah, if like anybody has like ideas for like front covers, or like references for front covers and stuff like that, or like interesting page layouts, or like nice looking book ideas, just send me images like on Discord or through the server, and just at me, because the more the better. Like, I want this book to look the juiciest it can be, like just the sexiest cover that I can think of. Maybe something fractally, or something that embodies like the feeling of magic in the world would definitely be cool as well. But yeah, this is, I guess, I think this is enough for the stream for now. I'm quite happy with this. Way more happy than the other trench drawings I've done because it has like a story that is within the picture, and also it gives you that mood of what the trenches look like. The only thing that it's not showing is like the maze-like quality of the trench, but I think we can show that through other drawings more. So we focus on different aspects of a location through different drawings, multiple drawings. Yeah. But yeah, I think that'll be pretty much the end of the stream for now. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you find this page pleasing to look at. I'll definitely, well, I'll have to refine it more. Don't worry, this is not how it's gonna look in the book with like the crunchiest line work and whatever. Um, It'll only be 10 minutes, Samuel, 30 minutes ago. Whoops. Yeah, I guess I got a bit carried away. But still, yeah, I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll be excited to see where this journey of making a book takes us. And oh, by the way, we will be like brainstorming a lot about like things to add in the book, like creatures and items. It's not everything's set in stone. Like there are still things that I need to work on, and we'll definitely be like working on that together to, involve you guys more in actually making things that will end up in the book. Because creatures I did not touch on way like enough at all yet, so that'll be a lot of fun to like get back into designing creatures for the book. Anyway, yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Take care and see you in the next stream or video. There you go. That solves it.
events in human history began in Europe. Just 5 days after McDonald's grand opening, the first prisoners arrived at the Auschwitz concentration camp in what is now Poland. Number 9. The fax machine was invented the same year the first wagon crossed the Oregon Trail. We all know the story of the Oregon Trail, since it's an important part of American history. However, what many don't know is that at the same time the first wagon traversed this trail, an important technological milestone was achieved. The original fax machine, the electric printing telegraph, was patented in 1843 by Scottish inventor Alexander Bain, the same year that about 1,000 people set off west for Oregon, forming a huge wagon train. Number 10. Oxford University existed for hundreds of years before the Aztec Empire was founded. The Aztec Empire began as an alliance of 3 Nahua Altepetal city-states. These 3 city-states ruled the area in and around the Valley of Mexico from 1428 until the combined forces of the Spanish conquistadors and their native allies under Hernan Cortes defeated them in 1521. Aztec culture had rich and complex mythological and religious traditions, as well as achieving remarkable architectural and artistic accomplishments. Meanwhile, in England, Oxford University was already well established. It has no known date of foundation, but there is evidence of teaching as far back as 1096, making it the oldest university in the English-speaking world and the world's second oldest university in continuous operation. It grew rapidly from 1167 when Henry II banned English students from attending the University of Paris. Number 11. Harvard University didn't offer calculus classes for the first few years after the school was established. Modern calculus was developed in 17th century Europe by Isaac Newton and Gottfried Wilhelm Leibniz, who independently of each other first published their findings around the same time. But elements of it appeared in ancient Greece, then in China and the Middle East, and still later again in medieval Europe and in India. Harvard was established in 1636 and is the United States' oldest institution of higher learning, and its history, influence, and wealth have made it one of the world's most prestigious universities. Calculus was off the curriculum for the first few years for obvious reasons. It hadn't been recognized yet. I find it astonishing that the oldest university in the United States is even older than such an important scientific breakthrough. Number 12. Ecstasy was invented the same year the Titanic sank. The unsinkable Titanic sank in 1912, going down in the North Atlantic Ocean, 4 days into the ship's maiden voyage from Southampton to New York City. In the same year, pharmaceutical giant Merck was interested in developing substances that stopped abnormal bleeding, and one of its chemists, Anton Kolich, synthesized MDMA to avoid a patent by German rival Bayer. The drug was of no particular interest to Merck at the time, and they only came back to research the substance sporadically over the next few years. It wasn't until 1975 that psychoactive effects of the drug began to be taken seriously, and recreational use spread thereafter through personal networks of psychotherapists and psychiatrists.
wiser and on better terms with the other gods. This isn't the only time the Iliad makes an explicit statement about a newly integrated god, as it also goes out of its way to...
Game open. Oh yeah, it is still open. Whoops. Hello everyone. I guess I forgot to close the stream. Huh. Well, I'm heading out to buy some food, so take care. Sorry. Mistake. I clicked the record button